Brought to you by Envision Clothing Company. Use my code Kelly10 for 10% off of your next purchase. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. All right, man. So what's going on?
Nothing too much. Just have the day off, so just taking it easy for now. Probably gonna hit the gym just after this.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So how long you been at Performance for?
Performance. So I was the one of the people from Competitive Edge. So
Okay.
yeah, so I guess being at Performance for me, it's been literally since the Reno. So it's probably going on. Probably I think it was July or August is when they merged.
Okay.
So yeah, almost going on a year, but even before that, I was at the Performance like before the combo. So when they had it as like before the renovations, I guess. And then even before that, I had so I went there and then Competitive Edge, and then once they did the renovations and the takeover, I guess it just became Performance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because I remember I saw some pictures, like people that I had on Instagram, and I saw some pictures that they posted of Performance, how it looked before.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally different. Like you never, it's so weird walking in there and just you have one image of what you think it's gonna look like, and then it's just you never even guess what it was before.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because I'm guessing what was it like with where all the treadmills and bikes are?
yeah.
What was that? Like what was that before?
It was in for the most part because it is set up differently. But like when I put it into scale, like I know what was the furthest back wall. So it always was. So you know how they have it in the arch. It pretty much was a straight line
Oh
along.
wow.
Yeah. So it really there's like two. You'd walk in and you'd have the front desk kind of where it is now, but there
Okay.
really wasn't a front desk kind of. It was very small.
Oh,
And I
okay.
remember they had a little protein, just like they have right now, like that little food shop. But it was more of a food shop back then. Like
Okay.
you could get sandwiches and like soups and whatnot. And then it was to the right, kind of how it is now. You had all the weightlifting machines and the weights, but it was way smaller than it was now. And they always had that one separate room, like where you go and do your abs, and they have the classes. They always had
Okay.
that, and then it was kind of like how it is now, like the L of the wall, and like they said, they had two lines right here, and then you'd have your machines here, and then just like the walls of that room, you would have the weights and right there down that way.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, but then they extended it way more because it used to be there'd be where like the benches and the squat racks are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a wall pretty much halfway across, and it was like its own powerlifting room.
Oh
And
wow.
then yeah, like they had pretty sure they had like the green turf in there, like pretty much for your CrossFit is what it was. And then I guess they knocked down that wall and just extended it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when people were telling me about the whole Performance, this was when I was at Good Life at the time when it was Good Life, and I was pretty intrigued because I was like, wow, they got all this cool stuff. And then when I went over to Performance 360, I was like, like it wasn't that I wasn't disappointed. I was a
Yeah.
little let down because I think people made it. They were embellishing, I
Yeah,
think,
I
a little
gotcha.
bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of made it more bigger than it really was.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't really see the whole hype. But I really like it. It's kind of got a
Yeah.
little bit of everything. It's
I
got everything that help like that. I guess fits my needs.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I was gonna say I would imagine it's not for everybody, but yeah, I mean if it's for me, like I know that my brother's biggest concern was the not having the dumbbells go over a certain amount. And I'm sitting here like 90s or like I can do anything with 90s. Even then that's I don't need 90s and he's sitting there worrying about 120s and 30s. And I was like, "Holy shit." I was like, "What are you doing?"
Wait. Like he was worrying that they wouldn't have them, or he.
Yeah, that they wouldn't be higher enough dumbbells. So that's why he has the membership at Fit for Less as well. Because
Oh, okay.
depending on whatever muscle he's doing, he needs that much weight, which more power to him. But yeah, not to mention, I know he gets a lot of heck for dropping the weights and whatnot,
I
but
mean,
he laughs at it, so it's good.
yeah, he told me about that, and he said, "Oh, it is what it is." I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think. I get it that they put a post out there and it says, like don't be yelling and
Yeah.
grunting and stuff like that. It makes people uncomfortable, like new
Yep.
members
Yeah, yeah, a
uncomfortable.
little intimidated type deal.
Yeah, and then there was one about dropping the weights. I don't really agree with that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll follow the rules. It's just I'll try my best not to drop them. But when you're deadlifting and you're freaking tired, I mean,
Yeah. Oh
it's so
yeah.
hard to control that last
Yep.
rep.
I agree. Yeah. Like I said, it's like for me, I've never really been a grunter. For me, it's mostly my breathing. Like that's what I utilize the most when I'm doing it. And to each his own though. Like for me, I'm sitting here saying I can be quiet, but I totally understand other people that are grunting, making loud noises. Because for the most part, anyone who's doing that, they're not doing it for attention. That's just naturally the sound they're making when they're lifting heavy weight, which I respect. So, but then again, I'll just respect the gym because I understand.
Right. I mean, we try to follow rules, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. What do you think when any kind of powerlifting? What do you think is more effective, the grunting or the controlled breathing or holding your breath? Because I know everybody kind of works differently, like you said. Everyone kind of has their own
Yep.
thing. What do you think that the grunting is not good for you, and then the controlled breathing is better for you, or vice versa?
You know what? I wouldn't say that there's one better than the other. I think it really just comes down to what you personally think is better. Like I think for me, like I said, like even the breathing isn't I think is the best because even just being able to control your breathing like that just overall is good for yourself. And I notice myself when I'm if I'm doing bench press, and then sometimes I'll just forget to like when you're doing that positive, that's when you exhale. And then when I remember that and I'm on those last few reps, for me, like that breath out definitely gets me a little bit more push into whatever or pull whatever lift I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess so. And I don't know. For me, like I learned the hard way with holding your breath. I don't think. I mean, I just asked you what you thought about all that. And,
Yep.
like, for my opinion, I think that holding breath is never a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so hard to not do though, especially when you're lifting that weight. It's so hard to learn to control your
Oh
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
breathe through when you're
Focusing on
lifting. Like for
so many
example,
things, right? Yeah.
yeah, like with like deadlifting and stuff like that. I had to learn the hard way. Like I remember one time I was passed out just
Oh yeah,
doing too much weight,
yeah.
and it wasn't for me. And I've injured myself a couple times.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of like the breathing, the whole thing. So I did Shotokan karate for so many years. I mean, I learned a lot about holding in your breath, and especially when we did like sparring and stuff. When we were always taught when you get punched, you kind of collect the punch. So what I mean by that is, so when you get say you get hit in the stomach,
Yeah.
nobody everybody knows that feeling of getting the wind knocked
Oh
out of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
So our sensei would like say, so when you, it's almost like when you're taking the punch, when you get the punch, it's like, like it's almost like
I
you
get
don't
it.
want
Yeah.
to hold a, like keep it in because everybody gets that,
Yep.
like so if you let it, and then it still hurts, but you're not gonna get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that.
But I don't know. So I think I asked you about the I think it's campfire stories.
Yes, yeah.
So that's not like a fitness brand or anything.
No, no, that's totally just like some independent clothing brand that I found on Instagram. That
Okay.
yeah, that I just like what they have. I like their aesthetic of their brand. I like what was physically on the T-shirt. So I went and bought it, and also as well for myself, I will be starting a clothing brand. So
Yeah.
when I see and not even fitness related at all, like more like streetwear would be the name of what I'm looking for. Like people my age, between a little bit younger, a little bit older, that'll be the audience. But yeah, like I've just recently within the last year, I've taken a big passion into fashion and like style and whatnot. And for myself, I'm not too much of a materialistic guy, but I do take pride in how I look. And I just like I wake up every day excited to what I'm gonna wear. So that's
That's
something
awesome.
that's yeah, it's something that's I mean at the moment I'm spending a little too much money on it and I know I gotta focus on the money after and earn the money right now. But yeah, like I definitely enjoy what I'm wearing and like take pride in it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when you're proud to wear something or when you take pride in what you wear, it makes you feel good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
naturally like I think like if I could wear like a $500 suit, or I'm not sure how expensive you can really get. I'm sure you can get
Yeah,
like way
yeah.
higher, but like I'm just
Big
saying,
scale.
on average, if I could get like a $700 suit and wear that around, I mean, God,
Yeah, oh yeah. You
like
dress
the
good, you
slim,
feel good, man.
the James Bond
Oh
like
yeah,
slim fit.
tapered. Yep. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, tailored
Oh,
right to you. Yeah,
hell
I
yeah.
agree. And it's funny. So I don't get me wrong. I do enjoy wearing a suit and whatnot, but like for my preference, I like to think that it's not the general accepted fashion. Like when it comes to the bright colors, the tie dye, the big chunky shoes that I got. For me though, I absolutely love it. Like I like when someone's looking at me like, what is this guy wearing? Or like when I come into the gym with some colored hair, and it's funny because like for fashion has definitely helped me become more myself and
Mm-hmm.
also
Like a new
have
identity.
exactly yeah and has allowed me to not let other people's opinions affect my life choices. So like there would
Mm-hmm.
be times at first where I'd be like, what are people gonna think of this? But then it's like ultimately I bought this because I enjoy it. I like how it looks. So I'm
Right.
not gonna allow what someone might think stop that. And that's
Right.
and it's even at for myself when it comes to advice and whatnot. That's something that I'm big on. Is just and like the term is dogma, and that's living your life based off of other people's opinions. And not that other people's opinions don't matter, unless like I mean if it's a role model or your girlfriend, your wife and whatnot, that definitely matters. But when it comes to like negativity and whatnot and people not having an issue to show that they may not like what you're wearing and whatnot, for myself I see it as that they're not doing so well in their own life that they want you to know that by simply because right someone who's more progressed than you or someone who's more has more personal growth than you isn't gonna knock anyone down just because they know they have that mentality. So not to put anyone down, but I always believe the only people that are gonna knock you are people that are below you.
Right, because
Yeah.
it's all about jealousy. I mean, you see
Yeah.
it when you're a
Yep.
kid, and that's I think, when you see with kids with bullying and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I agree with you. I think like for sure society does play a big influence on how we dress, how we feel,
Oh,
how
for
we
sure.
act.
For sure.
If you ever listen to the song, and actually I posted it last night, I figured out how to do it because I saw you do it on your Instagram once in a while. Like you post songs, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
trying to
Oh
figure.
yeah.
I
I
try
love
to
sharing
try to
music.
figure out the longest time how to do that, and I finally did. And anyway, there's a song. It's called it's by Pink Floyd, The Wall. Hey You, and
Oh yeah.
there's a quote in there about how
Phenomenal song.
like it's amazing song, and there's a part in it where it says like always doing what you told. Can you feel me? And it's like it's almost like this the song's kind of a little bit. It's about a different concept, but or not different concept, but it's about a different subject. But the concept behind it is the same thing about society, and you shouldn't let society tell you how you should act, feel,
Yep. Oh yeah.
dress. But at the same time, yeah, like when I see a certain actor wear something, I'm like, yeah, I love to wear something like that. Looks really cool.
Yep.
But at the same time, I want to dress how I feel comfortable and
Exactly.
how I want to dress. I don't
Yep.
want someone. I don't want for a really another really good example. I don't know how old are you?
22.
22. Okay,
Yep.
so you were born around the same time I was. Do you remember when like Aeropostale
Oh
and all
yeah.
those brands were like
Yep.
big?
Oh yeah.
It's crazy how when I was a kid, I tried so hard to want to wear all those clothing and be
Yep. Oh
accepted.
yeah, man. It's funny you say that because like I remember having that exact mentality. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I need, and like when consciously I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, I want this because it's gonna make me fit in," but subconsciously that's what the influence comes from. Because you may be
Exactly.
sitting there thinking, oh no, like this looks sick, like Hollister, American Eagle, like I like how it looks. And like sure it's somewhat of a high quality clothing, but ultimately it's what you think that brand is gonna do for society and like
Mm.
how it's gonna make them accept you and whatnot. But yeah, it literally like such a good example of what you brought up because it's so true.
Yeah, and I think as you age and you get older, as your frontal lobe develops, I think the decision making and your clear, rational thinking comes full circle and it fully develops. And as I got older, I kind of began to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna let anybody dictate or facilitate my life, and or like not just my life, but how I dress, how I feel,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
how I was saying.
Just everyday decisions, yeah.
Right, and yeah, it's just I you know what? Actually, talking about fitness or talking about brands. Sorry, there's a fitness brand I just got with. It's Envision Clothing
Yes, I
Company.
think I did see the post, yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm not. I think that some people. I think some people, and then there's other people, but there's some people that see that as like why or okay, let me rephrase that. Do
Yep.
you think that some people look at that as, well, he's only doing it because he wants to make commission and see it as like, oh, he's just doing it because other people are doing it or he feels like he needs to?
You know,
Do you think people get that?
I would definitely think that there are people that do have that thought for sure. But then, I mean, how I saw it was this guy has such a passion for fitness and improving his
Right.
life that that they recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't know if they sent it to you or if you bought it or whatnot, but, or like, are you an ambassador for it?
Yeah, so I guess I'll tell you how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that there's some brands out there like that are trying to be known. Like I know Gymstar reached out to me,
Oh,
and
right on,
but
man.
the problem is I was already with Envision.
Gotcha.
So actually, how I got with Envision, a guy that I know from the gym. Actually, I had him on a podcast. You know, Cameron
Oh,
Blue.
yeah. No, I don't know him, but I know of him. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
He actually got with them, and I looked at it. I was like, that looks really, really interesting. And I was like, I know that he's been talking about, and it must be a good brand because he's been telling me like he wants to find a good, reliable
Oh, yeah.
uh,
They do
brand.
supplements as well.
I don't think supplements, just
No, okay,
clothing.
gotcha.
And I was like, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. So I asked about them. I said, hey, what do I need to do to become an ambassador?
Yep.
Like, oh no, just sign up and we'll check out your Instagram and see if you're good enough to for us to
Yeah,
sponsor
what you're
you.
putting out and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. And yeah, and then I looked them up and signed up everything. Everything's good.
Oh, right on.
And it wasn't like one of those signups where they need you to buy one of their products to get like your own code and then
Yeah, I
and
gotcha.
be part of their
Yeah.
company. It actually they sign you up and that's that. And you don't have to buy anything, but it kind of helps that if you are wearing the clothing and you're
Oh,
promoting
yeah.
them that way as well. I think they appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It's like you guys are both doing a favor for each other, right? Like,
Exactly, it goes
yeah.
both ways.
So yeah, exactly. Like, you buy from them, and then they probably repost that, right? So
Right.
then your name gets out there, and like you would imagine, you'd gain some followers from that, and then they profit off it because you're just simply supporting their dream, which is whatever it may be. I'm sure it is just to simply motivate people, and then you're buying that sweater, which just shows them, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to get it. Like, I just, and also, it's not just the whole fitness thing. Like, I wanted my own kind of thing. Like, everybody wears, a lot of people wear Reebok, Under Armour,
Yeah,
Gymshark, a lot of these big
yeah, yeah. The
fitness,
big names.
big
Yeah.
names, yeah, fitness names, or fitness brands. But I wanted to find something that was different and unique, and they're different. And they're like they have their own kind of like when I saw the donut one, I thought it was cool because donuts. I mean, who doesn't like donuts?
You know, it reminded me of the Homer Simpson donut. You know, like that, just that basic one that he's got.
The basic pink one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. yeah, I just thought that was really really cool. So I'm gonna buy it. I don't think I would. I don't think I would so much like buy a whole bunch of their brands, but for sure I'm gonna buy it. See how it wears. I'm gonna see how it fits on me. Go from there and kind of see what's going on. So now I'm just waiting for the order, and
Yeah,
that's kind of.
that's the exciting part for sure.
I know
Just
it's just like
waiting.
anticipation, right? It's
Yeah.
like, come on, get here faster.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
What I was gonna ask you is how long have you been into fitness and like what's your ultimate goal for it? Like do you plan on doing shows and whatnot?
Okay. Well, I'll answer that as a whole question. Okay, I'll start off. How I got into fitness? Are you asking how? Sorry, I just kind of you kind of asked two things. So wait, the first part, did you ask how I got into fitness
Yeah,
or?
like like pretty much into the weightlifting.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the diet and whatnot.
Well, I started, God, 4 years ago. Well, was it four? Yeah, about 4 years ago. It was just, I think it was my or my second semester of my last year of school, and we have a gym, like the gym at by the college there,
Uh,
Healthplex.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I
I've
started
been there.
going
I've
there.
been there a few times.
Yeah, it's all right gym. It is what it is. But I went there and I started working out, and I said, you know what, because I was like 237 pounds.
Oh gotcha.
I mean, now I'm 196. I could be lower. I know I could lose a little bit more
Yeah.
fat, but like I've also gained the muscles too, so I gained a lot of it back.
Believe it or not, I remember I went up to 240 was my biggest.
No.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get into that after yours, but
Okay.
yeah,
I was gonna say 240, and I'm looking at you. You're like freaking.
yeah. It's like I think it's like 185 now, but yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get to that.
Okay. Yeah. So how I got into it? Yeah. So I said I had enough. I wanted to change. I don't think that you have to be fit to be happy, but it certainly helps when you see how far you come.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so anyway, I said, hey, this is enough. I'm not happy with how I look. I need to change it. So I started with dieting. And then it also helped that I was doing placement at a public school.
Gotcha.
So I was always running around. So that also just that was like didn't even need to do cardio, but I also did even extra cardio. So I was dropping the pounds like this,
Yep.
and I think I wasn't as eating as clean and healthy as I was now. But when you first start losing weight, even like the smallest changes make you lose weight so
Yep.
quickly.
Yeah. Yep. I know
Your
exactly
body
that. Yep.
responds so fast, and and it I don't know. I had enough, and that was that. So I started doing that in January, February ish of 2015. Yeah, 2015. And yeah, it was really hard at first because I gave up a lot of things. Like I didn't have like the first when I first started dieting and everything. I I think I didn't start having a cheat meal or eating anything bad for like the first 3 weeks. It was
Oh right
crazy.
on. Nice.
I mean, I'll never have that motivation ever. It's so hard now because now that I've lost a lot of the weight and now I'm weight training. Now because now I can kind of afford to have those cheat meals, and you
Yep.
should to kind of like throw your body off
Oh yeah.
to mix it up.
Also the deservingness too. You know, you've been disciplining your body too, so it's always nice to reward yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
So I did that, and even after I graduated, I think just before I graduated in June of that year, I went over to Good Life, and I was like, because I knew my membership was coming up or was ending because I was graduating,
Yeah.
and so I needed a new gym. So my mom was going to Good Life, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this place out, and that's surely enough, they signed me up, and I had been there for a couple of years until just last year, November, end of November, and it's been really really good, and I've had to learn a lot. Like I went in thinking I knew it all, and I
Yep.
think a lot of people will get into that habit, and yeah, it was hard. It was hard
Oh
taking
yeah.
criticism from people like, "Oh, you gotta do it this way," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck off! I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing."
Yeah.
I had
Just
a lot of that
that
negative
ego in the
ego,
way. Eh? Yep. Oh yeah.
100%, and
Humbles you a little bit, eh?
oh, 100%,
Yep.
and
Nothing wrong with that either.
yeah, And surely enough, it started. Oh, I wasn't telling people fuck off. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, please leave me
Yep,
alone.
I know what it's like. Yeah.
And yeah, so it did that for a lot of years. And then once I got to performance, I noticed I wasn't gaining as much, and I wasn't getting any more fit. Like I wasn't cutting the fat that I needed to.
Yep.
And so I went
Kind of like a
over,
plateau.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of. And I went to performance, and they had so much more different options. And after about Christmas, because Christmas was really hard to get through because you got all your sweets and
Oh yeah.
all the good stuff. But starting January this year, I just been killing it. I just been giving it.
Nice.
Like I up my grams of protein. Like I eat over 200 grams of protein a day. I need to. Like I weigh about not 196 right now.
Oh,
When
okay.
I weigh myself in the morning, not every week. Uh, and so like I up that, and then I've been eating like really clean.
Nice.
Like my parents can't even keep enough me in the house because I'm
Yeah.
eating so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I that's kind of where I'm at right now. Um, I haven't lost so much weight in terms, or I haven't lost as much pounds because I'm also gaining the muscle at the same
Yeah.
time.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, absolutely. But after I posted a picture, I kind of looked at it, I'm like, wow, I can kind of see how I lost a little bit like the fat in my chest, and then I can see how it's kind of coming in that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
V.
Yep. The development.
Yeah, and it's just the back fat and a little bit of that side
Yep.
fat is so hard to get rid of, but I'm trying to up my core because core
Yep.
I has never been my favorite, but it's weird because the more I've been doing it, the more I've been liking it. So
Right. Yeah. Doing something right, and you know what? That's to me. That's all that matters. Is like as long as you're enjoying it. That's what matters for sure. But for myself, I'll explain for myself and
yeah,
where it
I
all
was
started
gonna
for
ask
me.
you.
So my mom, I would have to definitely put credit to my mom for getting into the gym and whatnot because ever since I was young, as long as I can remember, my mom had a treadmill and a bike. And we used to live out in the country on Center Side Road,
Okay.
and she had a treadmill and a bike in the basement, and she was on it every day. Um, then eventually she got the membership at the old YMCA, which was on King Street, right on the water there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
like
remember
right
that.
across from the fire department.
Same with my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say the first bit of fitness I got was my mom had put my brother and I through swimming lessons at a very young age, all the way to certified lifeguards. So it was like a decade long of like swimming lessons and just every day being in the pool and whatnot because since we lived out in the country and my mom had worked at VON, which was actually there was the like the police station and like the parking lot on the corner of it,
Mm-hmm.
like there used to be a full-fledged house there. Like it's hard to remember that he was even there, but there
Okay.
used to be an old house and it would be businesses in the house and that's where they had the old VON, which is
Really?
yeah, something to do with nursing and whatnot. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. VON's. Well, you said your mom's in
No,
it.
she was just secretary there.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I think it's Victoria Order of Nurses is what it was. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy to think that there is some old green house that used to be there.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Fuck
and we
flies.
used to go. My brother and I went to St. Joe's School, which was like a minute walk from there.
Yeah, it's just down the. Yeah, you just have to go down a
Yeah,
little
like you
bit, and
can almost see it from where
yeah,
it is. And so my brother and I, the YMCA would pick us up there, and they would just walk us to the YMCA, and we'd be at the after school program until my mom was done work,
right.
and then she would even just come over to the Y right after work, and she would do an hour of cardio probably every day, and then she would just do full body workouts. She would literally just run through every machine every day. Like I know for her, it was never like bodybuilding and whatnot, and it wasn't like, all right, I'm focusing on this today. It was just wanted to stay healthy, and just
Right.
knew that if like this is pretty much even if you do the basics, it's still gonna put you in good shape. So like I said, it started out with swimming lessons, and then they would have um, like other how to put it, like other activities. Like it would be on a Tuesday, you would have like an open gym with a bunch of other kids, and there'd be organized games put on by the workers there, and like basketball, hockey, just all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would do that, And then I remember they had offered, you had to be 13, and they offered a weight training, like literally a one time thing, and you would go through all the machines with another worker there, and it would be like an hour, and literally just tell you how to do these machines. And even though they're like pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but anyway, so and then literally, I'm almost positive like you couldn't touch the machines unless you had this training, or like maybe it was like anyone could do it, but if you were young, you had to have this training, and then you could hit a certain age where it didn't matter. So my mom had put my brother and I through that. So that's pretty much where it started. But I mean, you got to think like I was 13 years old, so there was no goal in mind.
No.
There's no knowledge. There was pretty much I'm gonna do bicep curls and chest because those were like the show muscles, you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So started with that, and then I'd say then they had the new YMCA that they made by the courthouse,
Right.
and then remember once it got there, I took it a little bit more serious, and it wasn't until even at those times it would, like I said, it would be like no legs, even back. I didn't enjoy doing back. Like there was
Yeah.
just no goal, so you were just going to like pretty much for the girls, you know, at the end of the day. So, uh, and I remember I'd had a buddy as well that we would work out together, and like we would do progressive overload, like not knowing it's progressive overload. We would just, all right, we're gonna do some higher weight this time and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then it was I always did sports as well. So in high school, I did midget and junior volleyball. I really enjoyed volleyball, and then every year in high school it was football as well. That was my main one. So football definitely got a nice base for what I have now, just mainly in the legs, like just from all that work, not to mention the different type of terrain and whatnot, like helping the calves, helping and anything in your legs, and just overall activity.
Right.
And so I remember, and at that time I was a big kid. Like I had just ate a lot, like not worried about anything. And the highest I got was, like I said, it was like 242, and that was, and even then it wasn't like, and I think it was like 23% body fat, so it wasn't a lot, but I mean it was still a lot.
Right.
And I remember just asking my mom if she could help me lose weight, and at the time she was doing Blair's boot camp. So
Yeah, man, that kicks your
so
ass,
yeah,
dude.
so she had signed my brother and I up, and it was 3 times a week we would do that with her, and that had really helped because they would do certain. I think it was just once a month. They would have at the end of the workout, you like they would measure everything that they'd measured the previous month to just keep your progress on track.
Okay.
So then that's when I really started to see the difference in my body, and then I just really enjoyed it. So, and then so between the football, Blair's boot camp, I'd even had Cougars football, which is for Chatham. So every day from Monday to Friday, I would have my regular football practice. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays would be the boot camp,
Oh.
and then the Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays would be Cougars. So I was just constantly doing cardio and like
Jesus.
all the time, yeah. And I love the change that happened. So I lost a lot of weight, and this was towards the end of grade 10. And then I remember I got my first girlfriend as well. And like, not to say it was her fault, but like all the weight just came back too. Like, but it was because it was mainly like there's no one else. Like this person accepted me for who I am, right? So it's
Right.
like I'm not sitting here trying to impress anyone else. And I, not to say I wasn't happy, like I was fine with how I looked. And that was grade 11, and then grade 11 as well is when they have the first weight training class you can actually take at UCC. So that's where there would literally be every morning, like for your hour and 15 minutes of that class would be weight training. And it would be, that's where I learned supersets, negatives, giant sets, how to even make a split, like a workout split, and what you're going to do this day and this day, finding your weak points, finding your strong points. And what high school did you go to?
McGregor.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you wouldn't know the teachers, but there was Mr. McCauley was my weight training. He was also my coach as well, and a family friend, and then also the teacher for this class. And he just had a genuine passion for fitness. So he would just go above and beyond with showing you what to do, what not to do, and then even on his, you would have it would literally be a curriculum for weight training, and he just said, "Fuck it, like I know I'm going to teach these kids everything. Like we're not going to do what this says." And I remember eventually he went to Blair's boot camp, and he loved it so much that he brought it to this weight training class, and all of a sudden we're out in the grass flipping the tires, doing all these circuits, even though we're supposed to be doing the weight training, but he loved it. And I remember I loved it too, like just that competition as well with like other people, and it's based off of fitness too. I really enjoyed that. So between all of that, well, no, sorry, yeah. So going back to when I took the weight training class, so then that's when I got some real good knowledge of it. And then probably about a month before my girlfriend and I broke up, which would probably be the following year, just before grade 12 was ending, my buddy Zach Guchenberg, who's a really good friend of mine, I remember one time, and this is when I was at the old performance too, so so changed the gyms. And I remember I was like, "What are we working on today?" And then he goes, "I think I might do cardio for the week." And I was like, "You know what? I'll join you." So I remember we did it for that 1 week, and then I'd seen a drastic change in weight loss. So then I remember I was like, "Nah, 10 more pounds." And then like that 10 more became 20, 30, and then I went from like 240 to 187. That was that was. And then it wasn't until that 187 that I had seen my genetic potential. Like I'd seen what I had looked like nice and cut, saw the muscle, and that's when it was like I was very impressed with myself, because I was like, I've barely put in this much work, and just to see what that looks like, I can only imagine what a year of clean dieting will do, a year of just absolutely pushing it to the limit.
Right.
So after that we had really taken it seriously, and that's when I remember the first time doing a back workout, and then like realizing that was one of my strong points. And then it was like after that it was like back's my favorite thing to do. Like literally within one workout it was like, this is great. Like because even when you have it as a strong point, like getting that pump is even easier. So like just the back pump that I would get, I just loved it. Like you can just feel that t-shirt getting tighter in the back and And so, and then since then, no matter how my life was went, it was always like, I need to get to the gym today.
Right.
Like no matter what, like day just wouldn't be complete without it. And so I went away to school, which I'd say is probably going on 4 years now, because I did grade 12, and then I did 13, and then I went away to Niagara for culinary management. And so then came back, and my brother as well had a big influence on me, because he was in it since, like I said, he was a big guy as well. Like he was bigger than I was. Like I remember he was the one I'd make fun of for being overweight. And then he had lost it all, went down to like a toothpick, and then since then, like, he hasn't looked back. Like, he just lifted weight and ate everything in sight. And then, like,
your brother's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like he's just. If someone told me that, he's just, all he does, he doesn't do any. I've seen your fucking brother, man. He does fucking everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like. It's insane how big he is.
Oh, I agree.
Like, and it's not just he's just big in his arms, or he's big in his chest. He's fucking huge and everywhere. And even if you look at his legs, man, they're just fucking chiseled. It's like, how?
He takes massive, he takes massive pride in that. Like, it's
like, how, man?
It's the number one thing that, like, out of anything he does in his life, that's the top priority. And more power to him. Like, it's funny, like at the moment, I don't have my car. Like I got in a car accident, so him and I are sharing the car a lot more.
Yeah.
And he'll pick me up from work, or I'll pick him up from the gym. And I don't even ask him. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so I was doing this workout today, and like just fire off his whole workout.
And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, could really care less, but I'm like, he just enjoys it so much that he doesn't care who's listening, how they feel. He just wants to genuinely share
Yeah.
it.
And
And
he and I don't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
no worries.
honestly, if anybody works hard at that gym, it's him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like every time I talk to him, he's like, comes over, I'll do him. He's like, hey, how's it going? And he's just sweating, like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Barely
and
talking because he's breathing.
and he's so tired.
Yeah.
But like when you see that, and I'm not trying to make fun of him. I
Oh no, not at
like
all. Yeah.
like props to
We
him.
love
Like
hearing that.
to well, to see someone like that, you know that he's busted. I know that he does do a lot of heavy weights, so it does get tiring. It does take your breath out, but still he's working his ass off,
Oh
and you
yeah.
see it.
Always drenched, and the guy will wear
Yeah.
like 5 layers. And like, it's just too funny because like
Yeah.
he just loves it. Every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other guys there that really, you know, like I think that I will be guilty to say that I don't always go there and put my 100%,
Oh
but
yeah.
your brother does, like every single time
And you
he's
know
there.
what? It's very hard to push yourself
Hmm.
because like even when you think, okay, I pushed myself today, if you only like I know the highest it can possibly be pushed is when, in my opinion, is when you have someone sitting there in your ear, like 5 more reps, 5 more reps, and and they're just like literally putting you through the most pain ever, and like you want to stop, but like they just keep pushing you, and like it's definitely mind over matter when it gets to those last few reps. Like you just gotta know that that pain you're feeling is it's a
Just
good.
weakness leaving your body.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that
what my sensei always
exactly,
tells
yeah,
me
and
when I get
it's a
kicked in the head or
it's a
something.
good thing, like it's the fact that you're putting that muscle under that much intensity, like that's what you're tearing up your muscle fibers, which is what you want. Like you want to
Exactly.
just get further and further into that muscle tissue because when it like your muscle knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So and that's where the muscle growth occurs is when you're like pushing it to and that's where it really matters. Like those last few reps, those are going to be the ones that decide on pushing it to that next level.
Right.
And even myself, like I've had just different swings of motivation in the
Hmm.
gym. Like times where when I go to the gym and I just absolutely hate it, and it's just crazy to think that this is my thing. Like this is what I love the most, and not love the most, but this is what like gets me through the day. This is something that I really look forward to,
Hmm.
and then it's just crazy how at some point it can be, I don't even like being here, but I still at the end of the day I still make it there no matter if my workout's shitty or if it's I've left everything at the door
Yeah.
and like just gave it my all. No matter what, always be in my life for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I have days like that too. And like today was kind of one of those days, and I might have maybe I shouldn't have gone because I've been really pushing my body this week, and I knew this was coming up today, and I knew I probably wasn't going to get a big workout in, so I thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, and I told you about my car getting broken into
Yeah.
and all that stuff with the cops, so the cops could be coming anytime. So with that mind frame, I went into the gym. I said, okay, well, I'm doing legs. What are the most important? Quads, what do I need to do? So I pretty much did all the main muscles, just make sure I
Yep.
got those, and everything else I just kind of said, screw it.
Yep.
I had a really good leg workout another leg day, the other day. So, you know, I'll just see it as, you know what, just get the most important stuff, get out.
Yep.
Uh, Kind of frustrated I didn't do cardio, but then again, how I look at it, I got to work tonight, and I'm always on my feet. So in a way, that's kind of like my cardio.
Oh no,
If I
yeah.
miss it, then at least I have then I have that cardio
Oh
in a
yeah,
way.
I know that exactly. Like I work at Kelsey's,
Right. So you're
and
probably
yeah,
moving all the
like
time.
it's like I'm never sitting down. So like
Yeah.
I really underestimate it. Like even when it comes to eating, it's like I gotta eat that much more because my job involves moving around, right? And I
Yeah.
want to get in that calorie surplus rather than even though it's not a massive like loss in calories, you just something that you gotta like I know when anytime you do like what am I looking for? Like a metabolic I think it's basal rate, like just the number of calories you need to like sustain, lose, or gain.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you take those tests, they ask you like, what is your job activity involve, and like it's something they take into consideration, which I always overlook because you just don't even think of it. You're like,
Right.
I go to the gym this many hours, this is what I should eat, but then I'm sitting there thinking that I'm just constantly, and then not to mention I'm in the heat, so I'm sweating that much more,
Right.
right? But yeah, it's what I was gonna get at is the days that you don't feel like going, those are it's when and then you end up do going, that's that where that character development happens. You
Right.
know, like when you push yourself in, like sure, going to the gym when you're loving it, that's easy, right? And it's not
Right.
pain in the ass to get there. Once you, because eventually once you get it in your head that no matter what, I'm gonna go to the gym, if it's gonna be shitty, if it's gonna be good, you just train your brain to always go no matter what, and then eventually it'll just be second nature that you don't even contemplate it, no matter what's happened in the day, no matter what might happen and whatnot, you just train your brain to always go.
Yeah, and when I think when you push yourself to get to the gym or do whatever that is repetitive but you don't want to do, it tells a lot about a person and
Oh
it
yeah.
shows that you don't give up and it's easier to just give up than just to or no, sorry. Yeah, sorry. It's easier to just to give up than to work hard and say,
Yep.
you know what, push through, I can do this. Of course, if we're talking about gym, yeah, you need to take a day off here and there. I don't know anybody that goes every single
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
doesn't take
like
it. Like
that's
that's not
literally,
healthy.
yeah, it's a part of muscle growth, letting the recover happen,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Um, but I know that you got to pick up your brother soon. So I
Yeah,
just wanted to thank you for
no
coming on my
problem, buddy.
podcast,
Pleasure's
man.
all mine. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, man.
Uh,
Thanks everyone for watching. Tune in next time.